I have a feeling Richard Reschke is going to make it count.
Richard Reschke is driving through Curva del Seraglio. It looks like Ernest Besson is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. Besson crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outlap. Ernest Besson is looking relatively composed going through Rettifilo Partenza.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Jacobus Besson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
Jacobus Besson appears focused and prepared driving through Curva Biassono.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
You can feel the tension building. Jamie Nichols is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Jamie Nichols is driving through Seconda Curva di Lesmo.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Ernest Besson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Ernest Besson handles it.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Jamie Nichols has completed their outlap. Jamie Nichols is looking relatively composed going through Rettifilo Partenza.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
The adrenaline is pumping. Francois van den Heever is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
That's the outlap done for Francois van den Heever. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. Francois van den Heever appears focused and prepared driving through Prima Variante. Ernest Besson is on their outlap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Ernest Besson is driving through Curva del Seraglio. It's clear that Dylan Bizici is pushing Thiercar to the very edge of traction on this qualifying lap. Dylan Bisagy is driving through Variante della Raggia and is up minus 0.1.
All we can do now is wish Dylan Bisagy luck as they continue their way to start, finish.
JP Brand has just completed a lap in 1:57.242. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. This is what it's all about. Francois van den Heever is putting everything they've got into this qualifying session.
They certainly.
Francois van den Heever has just completed that lap in 1:59.019. Their best lap so far is 1:59.019, putting them in P8. Francois van den Heever is looking relatively composed going through Prima Variante.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
It looks like Ernest Heather is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Ernest Heather can deliver.
Ernest Heather appears focused and prepared driving through Curva Biassono. JP Brand will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Joni Geldenhuys is up minus 0.32.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Johnny Geldenhuys is just showing us all what they're made of.
Joni Geldenhuys is driving through Variante della Raggia.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Ernest Basson is looking relatively composed going through Curva Biassono.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Ernest Basson appears focused and prepared driving through Prima Curva di Lesmo. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Jacobus Basson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Jacobus Basson is driving. Joni Geldenhuys will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session. Richard Reschke is up minus 0.13.
Well, Carol, it seems like Richard Reschke has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Francois van den Heever is trying to find that extra performance. Francois van den Heever is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.13 seconds down.
Francois van den Heever is likely taking a deep breath to try and refocus their efforts.
Jamie Nichols has improved by minus 0.1 up through Prima Curva di Lesmo. This is where the mental game comes into play. Ernest Heather is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Ernest Heather is looking relatively composed going through Curva Biassono.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
Richard Reshka is looking for ways to improve their consistency. Richard Reshka appears focused and prepared driving through Curva del Seraglio. You can feel the tension building. Jacobus Basson is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
Jacobus Basson is driving through Curva Parabolica.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
Jamie Nichols is trying to find that extra performance.
Good question, Carol. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
It's an impressive showing by Joni Geldenhuys, currently in 6th. They've showcased their talent, but will need to find those crucial extra tenths to climb higher. Joni Geldenhuys is looking relatively composed going through Curva Parabolica.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
Francois van den Heever has positioned themselves well in 8th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
You're absolutely right, Carol. Francois van den Heever's current position of 8th.
Francois van den Heever has some work to do as that 159.537 is only good enough for 8th. Disappointing performance from Ernest Heather in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race.
Spot-on analysis, Carol. It's been a difficult qualifying session for Ernest Heather, but they shouldn't lose hope just yet. They have the talent and determination to make a comeback, and it'll be exciting to see how they respond to this adversity.
Ernest Heather appears focused and prepared driving through Variante Ascari.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
Incredible drive by Ernest Basson so far, earning them 9th. The competition is fierce, however, and they will need to quickly find more time to get even closer to the sharp end of the grid.
Couldn't agree more, Carol. Ernest Basson has positioned themselves impressively in 9th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
It seems like Ernest Basson is struggling, currently 0.19 off their best pace. An outstanding display from Sean Motter in this qualification session. They have been on fire, putting in blistering lap times and currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. It's a statement performance, showcasing their speed and determination. Sean Motter will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session. A solid qualifying performance by Ernest Basson, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Jacobus Basson is now up minus 0.59 in Variante Ascari. Richard Reshka has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launchpad for a strong race performance.
I completely agree, Carol. Richard Reshke has positioned themselves impressively in second. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Richard Reshka is driving through Curva Parabolica and is up minus 0.17. A mesmerizing display from Sean Motter in this qualifying session. They have left everyone in awe with their speed and precision. Currently leading the pack, they are setting the standard and sending a clear message to their competitors. Sean Motter is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 25.04 seconds down. Ernest Heather has put in a great effort and currently holds ninth. With the session winding down, time is running out for them to unleash their full potential and improve their starting position.
Great analysis, Carol. Ernest Heather has shown excellent pace to secure ninth. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Ernest Heather completes their lap in their TCPK Ranger GT, putting them in P9. It's a very still day here at MONZA OSRW, as we're getting ready to kick things off. And in second place, we have Richard Reshka.
Richard Reshke will be ready to show what they're made of.
Dylan Visagi is placed in third.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Dylan Visagi can do from here.
JP Brand is lining up fourth.
JP Brand will be taking no prisoners today.
We see Joni Geldenhuys sitting in the fifth spot. Sitting in sixth is Jacobus Basson.
Another mid-pack start for Jacobus Basson.
The starting flag has been waved, and the battle on the track begins. The opening lap is always intense, with drivers vying for an early advantage.
The drivers will need to be aggressive but also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Carl, but the best drivers know how to push the limits and make it work to their advantage.
It's never easy to drive that razor's edge between perfection and disaster.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
The drivers are walking a fine line during the first lap melee as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today.
It all comes down to this Carol, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can, now it comes down to Dylan with G, to bring it home.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? It's been a solid race so far for Dylan with G. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace. We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on if we ever get bored of regular racing. Bumper cars might be the next big thing.
The delta between Jacobus Besson in 6th and Joni Deldenhuis remains over a second, but Jacobus Besson is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 2 minutes left in this session to make that happen. Jamie Nichols is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's a battle for position as Dylan with G tries to...
The starting flag has been waved, and the battle on the track begins. The opening lap is always intense, with drivers vying for an early advantage.
The drivers will need to be aggressive but also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Carl, but the best drivers know how to push the limits and make it work to their advantage.
It's never easy to drive that razor's edge between perfection and disaster.
Things are starting to get tense as Richard Reschke manages to close the gap to Dylan with G. It's now down to 0.1 seconds. Stop the press. Looks like commentator is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty when they picked up some damage during the start?
That's not where they want to be right now.
The adrenaline is pumping as Dylan with G gets within striking distance of Richard Reschke in their race for third. Big gains for Dylan with G as they move up the field, leaving Richard Reschke behind. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Carol, it's always exciting to see these skilled drivers operating such fantastic machines on amazing tracks.
Jacobus Besson has just put in a faster lap than Jamie Nichols, so that's going to give them something to worry about. Every move counts now as Jamie Nichols works to reel in Jacobus Besson and overtake for P6.
The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Ernest Besson is closing in on Ernest Heather. are heating up as Dylan Visage tries to close the gap to JP Brand. Looks like Jamie Nichols is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Jamie Nichols is really walking that fine line.
This is going to be a nail-biter. JP Brand is defending for their life, but Joni Geldenhuis is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake. The pursuit is on. Joni Geldenhuis is closing the gap on JP Brand, determined to claim P4. The battle for two is heating up as Richard Reshka tries to catch Dylan Visage in P2. The gap between Joni Geldenhuis and JP Brand is razor thin as they vie for fourth in this nail-biting contest.
Joni Geldenhuis is so close to JP Brand that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Hold on to your hats, folks. JP Brand is right on the heels of Joni Geldenhuis, and we're in for a wild ride.
If JP Brand gets any closer to Joni Geldenhuis, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
The race is heating up as Peter Geldenhuis in 8th closes in on Jamie Nichols. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Jamie Nichols is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Peter Geldenhuis in P8 doing everything they can to catch up.
The race is really heating up. Dylan Visage is hunting down Richard Reshka with everything they've got. The pressure is on for JP Brand as they try to catch up to Joni Geldenhuis.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Dylan Visage has the pedal to the metal chasing Richard Reshka. Good news for Dylan Visage, the gap to Richard Reshka has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
This is what racing is all about, hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
Well, it doesn't look like Joni Geldenhuis is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Dylan Visage. It's a battle of wills out there, with Dylan Visage trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Richard Reshka. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Dylan Visage tries to reel in Richard Reshke. But Richard Reshke is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Dylan Visage needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Richard Reshke and move up the field.
JP Brand has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Joni Geldenhuis. I expect their only hope at this point is that Joni Geldenhuis makes an error.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely, they're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
Things don't seem to be going Dylan Bisagi's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Dylan Bisagi as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. The gap between Dylan Bisagi and Joni Geldenhuys is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Dylan Bisagi to even allow Joni Geldenhuys to get a look in.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
It seems like Joni Geldenhuys is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. Let's talk about tire degradation. Carl, how does it affect the car's handling and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Carol. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
Well, it doesn't look like Joni Geldenhuys is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Dylan Bisagi.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Dylan Bisagi.
It looks like we might get a battle between Joni Geldenhuys and Dylan Bisagi. Things are going according to plan for Dylan Bisagi, who is currently third. Dylan Bisagi is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace. Things don't seem to be going Jamie Nichols's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Jamie Nicholls is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Joni Geldenhuys will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. Stop the press. Looks like commentator is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty or have they picked up some damage during the start?
That's not where they want to be right now.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Jamie Nicholls as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
Jamie Nicholls could be on a charge here, Carl. They have just put in a quicker lap than Jacobus Vasson. It's like Sean Motter has saved all their energy for this final stretch. What a win! This is a historic moment for Sean Motter, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Sean Motter remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
A nail-biting finish, but Richard Reschke claims second place.
Intense race, but Richard Reschke held their nerve and earned a great second place.
What a race from Joni Geldenhuys. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Dylan Visagi, J.P. Brand, Jacobus Basson, and Jamie Nichols. Peter Geldenhuys, Ernest Heather, Francois van den Heever, and Ernest Basson take 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. You've joined us on a breezy day here at MONZA OSRW, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Ernest Heather is holding down the fort in second place.
It's not always easy to get the TCPK Ranger GT this high up the starting grid.
Sitting in third, it's Peter Geldenhuys. Lining up in fourth is Jamie Nichols. The fifth position is occupied by Jacobus Basson. Starting from the sixth position, J.P. Brand will need to navigate through the field to challenge, and just like that, the race has started. Now, we'll see who has the skill and nerve to outmaneuver their rivals.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
Francois van den Heever had better wake up a bit here, Carl, else they are going to find themselves pushed to the back if they don't get up to speed. They have already dropped down the running.
Every race has its ups and downs, and it looks like Francois van den Heever is getting the down out of the way early. Let's see how they respond.
Race is Races are often more about maintaining consistency than having outright pace, but it doesn't hurt to have a little good luck every now and then. Dylan Bizagy is tearing up the track, making up positions like they're going out of style.
A fantastic start there indeed, but the first lap can be very scrappy. Let's hope they can hold on to that place.
Richard Reshka must have had a rocket under their seat, because they've shot off the line like a missile. Joni Geldenhuys has nailed the start, gaining places early on. They should be pleased with that.
It's like Johnny Geldenhuys had an extra helping of determination for breakfast today, but let's see if they can keep up the pace for the whole race.
Look at that, Richard Reshka is hot on the tail of Dylan Bizagy.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can Richard Reshke close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
Oh, this is getting intense. Sean Motter is just a few car lengths behind Ernest Besson.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
Jamie Nichols is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Joni Geldenhuys, who is 0.3 seconds behind. Joni Geldenhuys is running third. They are trying to catch Jamie Nichols.
We'll have to wait to see if Johnny Geldenhuys can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
Dylan Bizagy wants to find a way round Joni Geldenhuys.
And if you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
And the drivers know it too. Now, they're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
Sean Motter is on a mission, chasing JP Brand, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Sean Mater is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with JP Brand.
Peter Geldenhuys wants to get into Sean Motter's slipstream.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake. It's just a matter of who cracks first.
Excellent work from Jamie Nichols, who has managed to increase their lead over Joni Geldenhuys. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
That's a really strong performance from Jamie Nichols. They're not giving Johnny Geldenhuys any chances to catch up.
The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these three drivers. Wait, that won't be ideal for Jamie Nichols. Dylan Bizagy seems to be putting the pressure on Jamie Nichols.
They need to keep it on the road, or at the very least the rumble strips. The fastest way around is not usually in the grass. As the saying goes, too much weed will slow you down.
Wait, that won't be ideal for Jamie Nichols. What a tight spot for Dylan Bizagy. They have Jamie Nichols right on their tail, 0.2 seconds away, and Ernest Heather just inches away with a gap of 0.2 seconds. It's a true test of their racetrack. If everything goes as planned, this is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
It looks like Richard Reshka is pushing hard to catch up to Ernest Heather. That's not a small gap, but Richard Reschke has what it takes to challenge for the position.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Richard Reschke in second determined to catch up. But we know Ernest Heather isn't just going to hand it to him on the plate. Richard Reschke is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. Wow, Joni Geldenhuys is really pushing hard to catch up to Jamie Nichols. There's blood in the water for third place.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration is calculated to perfection.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. I would not bet on either racer at this point, as it's too close to call.
Joni Geldenhuys could be looking for a way up the inside of Jamie Nichols. Three cars, three different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move.
No doubt about it, Carol. The battle for supremacy between these drivers is fierce. The way they navigate through those tight corners is a testament to their skill and determination.
It's a game of inches now as Ernest Heather tails Jacobus Basson closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Ernest Heather gaining places and Jacobus Basson losing them. Coming into Prima Curva di Lesmo, the fight for sixth is heating up. Neither driver wants to be the first to blink. Wait, that won't be ideal for Jamie Nichols. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Dylan Bizagi is chasing Richard Reschke in P1. Great driving from Ernest Heather, who has just gained a place and moved up to fourth.
Impressive. Ernest Heather is really showing their skill and determination out there.
It's true what they say, Carl, you're never completely useless.
Indeed, Carol, you can always be used as a bad example.
It looks like JP Brand is in control. They're ahead of Ernest Heather by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Ernest Heather to make up that gap, especially with JP Brand defending so well.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Joni Geldenhuys in fifth chases after Sean Lauder. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Joni Geldenhuys needs to find a way to close the gap. We got a close battle as JP Brand closes in on Joni Geldenhuys. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Peter Geldenhuys, who is currently in P9. But Jacobus Basson is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Peter Geldenhuys. The tension is building as Ernest Heather trails behind JP Brand. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. JP Brand is pushing to maintain the lead, while Ernest Heather is working to close in and challenge for the position.
That's right, Ernest Heather in 7th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But JP Brand is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard.
Hold on a second. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. The race is heating up as Joni Geldenhuys in 5th closes in on Sean Lauder. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. The delta between Dylan Visage in second and Richard Reshka remains over a second, but Dylan Visage is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 11 minutes left in this session to make that happen. It seems like Dylan Visage is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Dylan Visage appears to be pushing, hopefully they can keep it together.
The gap between Jamie Nichols and Sean Motter is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Jamie Nichols to even allow Sean Motter to get a look in. It's a battle of wills out there, with Dylan Visage trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Richard Reshka. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. This is where the race gets really interesting. Sean Motter is closing in on Jamie Nichols.
Sean Mater needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Jamie Nichols.
Well, it doesn't look like Dylan Visage is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Richard Reshka. The gap between Dylan Visage and Richard Reshka is getting smaller.
That's a great effort from Dylan Visage. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
It looks like Sean Motter is pushing hard to catch up to Jamie Nichols. That's not a small gap, but Sean Motter has what it takes to challenge for the position. And Sean Motter has just won the place from Jamie Nichols.
Absolutely, Carol, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Sean Mater can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Jamie Nichols will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
It's going to be tough for Jamie Nichols, as Sean Mater seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Jamie Nichols pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Dylan Visage in second chases after Richard Reshka. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Dylan Visage needs to find a way to close the gap. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for JP Brand, who is currently in P6. But Joni Geldenhuis is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from JP Brand.
This is where experience comes into play. Johnny Geldenhuis has been in this situation before and knows how to defend the position, but JP Brand is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
Looks like Joni Geldenhuis is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. The racing is getting tight between Johnny Geldenhuis and JP Brand as they battle for P5. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Things don't seem to be going JP Brand's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. JP Brand is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Joni Geldenhuis to 0.7 seconds. The gap between Joni Geldenhuis and JP Brand is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Joni Geldenhuis to bring JP Brand into play. This is where the true champions shine, and Richard Reshka is certainly showing their class in the final sector.
They're not leaving anything on the table.
And there it is. Richard Reshka has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. Dylan Bizagi takes second place with a fantastic race. Well done to Sean Motter for securing third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Taking fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh is Jamie Nichols, JP Brand, Joni Geldenhuis, and Jacobus Besson. Peter Geldenhuis in eighth. Ninth sees Ernest Heather. In 10th, it's Francois van den Heever. Ernest Besson claim 11th.